Reading can be a fun activity, a way to manage stress, and it is the bridge to educational success. Unfortunately, many children are resistant and parents struggle to get their children to enjoy reading. These 8 tips should help you find a way to encourage your child to fall in love with reading. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. Is it a struggle to get your child to read? Do they not love it? Today we're going to talk about 8 ways to help your child fall in love with reading. Number 1, what does your child enjoy? Each child has their own unique personalities and likes and dislikes. The same is true for types of books. I actually fell into this trap. Just because your older child loves reading and thought the Percy Jackson series was amazing does not mean that your younger child will feel the same way. You need to find out what all of your children like uniquely so that you can get books that cater to their likes. If you are not sure, you can ask them, and if they aren't sure, what I recommend is that you read them a series of short stories over a week or 2, and try different types of short stories that have meaning, like I would call them dramas, that are funny, that are witty, that are factual, that are action-based, a mystery, futuristic or science fiction, or about animals. There's all different kinds. Then ask them which ones they really liked, why they really liked them. You should be able to narrow down what type of book your kiddo really likes based on how they answer those questions so that you can find a bigger read that you can either read to them or we'll go through all these other tips that they can read that is more to their liking. Number 2, audio is the way to go. Find the book on audio. In 25 fun and fabulous reads for the weekend, I tell you how to get your audiobooks for free. Our library offers 6,000 juvenile and 3,000 young adult books in audio format. Those are all free. If a child is challenged by reading but enjoys stories, audio allows them to listen to the story as they follow along in the book. This will make the task of reading much less intimidating, instill 3-dimensional characters because they have voices, and it makes it much more interesting that way, and allow your child to build reading and comprehension skills. Your child can fall in love with reading by listening to someone read to them. Number 3, read it twice. Reading the same book again and again is allowed. If they first read the book using audio, and then they feel they are up to the challenge of reading the book on their own, this is a great sign. Encourage them to try it out on their own now that they know how the story progresses. They will feel the confidence to tackle the book on their own. Children who find reading difficult often enjoy reading the same books again and again. They are able to pick up on some of the finer points, characters' actions, or humor that they may have missed out on the first time. Number 4, let them see reading in action. Yes, I know you didn't want to hear it, but modeling is so important. And I get it, you're really busy. However, the reality is, it is really hard to convince your child that reading is a priority and that it is really important if they never see you read. It is also really hard to get your child to fall in love with reading if you don't love to read. So if this is going to be something that you really want your child to commit to, you're going to need to make that commitment as well. So you read and they read if they're to the age where they can read separately from you. Take it a step further and talk about your books together. What are they liking? What are they not liking? What are they finding interesting? And then tell them the same about whatever it is you're reading. Turn what you are both reading into a focus of conversation. Number 5, make going to the library an adventure. Your local library often has events and happenings. and they have these for all ages. Make going to the library exciting and it's looked forward to. Everyone gets time to browse the shelves and find their perfect next read. Be sure to check out the calendar. Most libraries offer story time for the littles, and almost every library has a reading challenge during the summer, so make sure you all join that. Check out if there are any activities or clubs for your school-age kiddos, and there may even be book clubs for your teens that have different genres, because those might apply to your teens differently. The idea is to make the library a focus of social engagement. Kids are social creatures, so make that library something that is social. 6, show them reality. Is your child just still not convinced? Do they still hate reading? Show them where they need to read. Show them where they need to use it by participating in activities where they will be naturally reading. Cook together. They can search Google for the perfect thing that they want to cook, and then they'll need to read the recipe with you. Build something, whether a model car or a piece of furniture. You need to read the instructions and the types of tools and measurements. Create a garden. You'll need to read growth requirements for the starts, seed packets, how to deter bugs, etc. Play a board game. Choose a game that requires reading the board or game cards. Use an interest in an activity or hobby to help your child fall in love with reading. Are you going on a road trip with your kids? How about just traveling with them? How are you going to keep them entertained? I created 100 Would You Rather cards. These are easy to print out. There's 8 cards per page, and they're designed to be interesting for ages 5 to 6 and up. A lot of your Would You Rather cards create and focus on questions like, would you rather live forever in the saliva of a giant or a great big booger of a giant? Those are not the kind of questions, in my opinion, that appeal to all ages. They really center around kids that are enamored with body humor. These questions that I created are questions that you may have to explain to the littles, but that everyone can enjoy, everyone can think about, and you can actually use as a learning opportunity if you want to. For example, one of the questions is, would you rather swim with jellyfish or nurse sharks? If you don't know about nurse sharks, I believe they do not have teeth. You can look that one up. I just know that you can swim with them, and they still look really, really scary. Although some jellyfish sting. So that would be an interesting one to learn about. You also may have to explain what a planetarium is, because there's a question about a planetarium. There's also really goofy questions, like would you rather be able to shoot thunderbolts or ice? Something like that. So I created all kinds of would you rather questions so that your teens will be just as interested as your 6 or 7-year-old. Go ahead and get these for free. Number 7, they get to be the critic. I have yet to meet a child who does not have an opinion and love to express it. Well, give them that opportunity. Many books are being made into movies. Have your child first read the book, then watch the movie together. Your child gets to give the review. Which one did they like better? What differences did they notice? Do they like the way the characters were portrayed in each? Allow your child to not only see the differences, but have an opinion about those differences or similarities. Your child may fall in love with being a critic long before they fall in love with reading. However, they have to read the book in order to give the review. And number 8, you've got mail. Choose a magazine specific to your child's interests. For a fabulous gift, get them a subscription that is delivered to the house. Your child will receive something just for them in the mail every single month that is specific to what they like. This is a really special one because kids get so excited, go to the mailbox, and how often is there anything in there for them? Well, you're making sure that something is in there for them, and it's something that they will read. There are magazines for children as young as 3 years old. I believe there's one called Jack and Jill. You can find a magazine for almost any topic of interest: animals, mazes, cars, fun facts, sports. The list goes on and on. You can look up a topic and you'll probably find a magazine that is specific to that for kiddos. The benefits of regular reading as a child are extensively documented. It is exhausting to have to struggle with a child who does not want to read. These 8 tips should help you find a way to encourage your child to fall in love with reading. And the movie quote for this week is, "A story can be new and yet tell about olden times. The past comes into existence with a story," from The Never-Ending Story. Have a fabulous week. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.